Everyone, Joe Waxman here, and in this video, I want to take a quick look at secondary progressions. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know what to do. I really don't like to preface my stuff with much. You know that I'm low tech, low production. So anyway, I'm gonna get right into it. That's the way I like it. You'll never get any of that stupid music intro nonsense with me because it doesn't help. Like, you don't click on a video to get like stupid cheesy music. Like, if you want to hear music, if I want to hear music, that always bothers me. Like, if I want to hear music, I'll go watch a music video. I don't want to hear stupid, fucking ridiculous, horrible music when I click on an information video, which they always do. Like, they think I want to hear their shitty ass music. I don't. Fuck off. Anyway. Just one of the perks of watching my videos. You don't get any of that nonsense. So here we have secondary progressions, and here we have it right now. And if you don't know what secondary progressions are, basically it's the sun moves 1 degree per year, and all the other signs follow suit. And it really is accurate. And what you want to look at are the quick moving planets and points, which are the moon mainly, but also the ascendant and any planets that are changing, have changed signs recently, right? So my sun just moved into Leo, and that's great news for me because sun gained dignity in Leo. But previously, it was in Cancer. So the good part about progressions is that everyone gets to have a taste of what it's like to be a different sign, a different sun sign, moon sign, all the moon signs we go through pretty quickly, but the sun signs are even if we're born, like, let's say my natal sun's in Gemini, right? So it took 15 years for me to get into Cancer, and then 30 years for me to work through Cancer, right? So I'm 47, so roughly, I guess it's this should be 45, but I don't know. I guess the math is wrong. Well, no, actually what happens is I watched a video about the calculation method, and I switched calculation methods. In any case, there's 2 different calculation methods. I'm not talking about that. If you look in the preferences, I think you can find it. Progressing also, I don't know. I can't remember. Solar arc and longitude, maybe. Parallax moon. I don't remember. Any case, this is the way it is. Roughly 1 degree per year. And I find it to be very accurate because if you're born in Gemini, then you get a taste of what it's like to be a Cancer for a while. And Cancer sun is fine. It's good, right? Cancer sun. But Cancer sun doesn't have tremendous dignity. At least Gemini has a trine to sun's domicile in Leo, or sorry, sextile. But Cancer is in the 12th from Leo. And Cancer sun tends to be very emotional, and it doesn't quite have, I mean, there are a lot of good things about Cancer, don't get me wrong. But obviously sun in Leo, there's a lot more dignity. Sun's in domicile, right? So I have all these planets in Leo, both natally, my ascendant lord Mars, and then Saturn, MC, and then through secondary progressions, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, and now Sun. The significance of this is that my sun just went into Leo, so it's gained dignity, but it's also bonifying all these other planets, including my natal planets. So this is a really, really positive time for me, positive period for me. And for the next 30 years, it'll bring a lot of creativity, a lot of career growth, because MC, 10th house, and Saturn here, with Saturn's very inhibiting, but with the secondary progressions and the sun, especially with the sun, that's going to really boost the effectiveness of the 10th house, because Saturn doesn't have the ability to be quite as negative with the sun here, right? Sun rules Leo. So sun's taking charge. Sun's like, I'm here, guys. I'm the boss. I'm king. Saturn, you don't get the final say. I get the final say because this is my home. I call the shots. and we're doing it my way. And Sun is going to be a lot better for my career, for my public image, for everything, you know, relating to the 10th house and Leo creativity than Saturn is. Saturn doesn't do great in Leo, obviously. And Mars being my ascendant lord, Saturn's a major inhibitor, right? Saturn's ruling my 3rd and 4th house. So relating to my parents, neighbors, hometown, you know, like people at home might not have any faith in me. My parents might not have any faith in me, or otherwise not be very good for me as far as my career, because Saturn's ruling them, and Saturn's in Leo, and Saturn's in Leo conjunct my MC and ascendant lord and MC. So it's like inhibiting me, right? I've always had that. I've always had problems with older people, with parents, parent types, and, you know, in general, like people, you know, like locals and whatnot. I don't know specifically, but you know, 3rd house themes, I guess you could say, but 3rd and 4th holding me back. And this is a huge you know, positive breakthrough for me, right? So you want to look to planets changing sign, especially the sun. The sun's going to be a major one. All the planets, the moon. So the moon recently went into my 8th house, and I was kind of worried about that for a little while, but I actually haven't noticed anything negative, because moon in the 8th house is not going to be great because of the scorpionic influence, moon being emotional. It's very, very deep, powerful, potent, but troubling for the moon, which likes to be much more stable. I think that's due to my natal sun and Venus being here in the 8th house, and my connection to astrology. I put it to good use. So I find like this 8th house moon to be okay. I haven't really experienced anything very bad. I mean, at least if it's like, you know, deep and intense and like, you know, a lot of turmoil, I'm used to it. It's like, hey, this is normal. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're used to living in with a certain kind of climate or tone or temperature, and it's like you just get used to it, however harsh it might be for other people. So it's fairly normal for me, and I don't find it a problem, but I've learned to adapt, and I've learned to use it well, and there's a lot of, you know, depth, you know, so it's adding to a certain depth of understanding and penetrating into 8th house matters. I haven't really noticed anything else. It feels fine. It's fine so far, and it was fine in the 7th house too, right? I mean, you know, I definitely experienced a lot of the Cancerian sun issues where, I don't know, Saturn was very inhibiting, but also like a lot of emotionality, a lot of sort of like very feeling like I can't do what I want to do. I didn't feel empowered, right? And Sun in Cancer is fine. It's not particularly weak, but it's not particularly strong either, right? So it wasn't giving me the strength I needed, and it was overly emotional, I found. Yeah, but now I'm actually seeing some really good positive things already. In fact, I'll tell you, I'll show you the link soon because it's still under review, but I just published my first book on KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing from Amazon. It's a kid's book, and I just got inspired to do it recently, and I did it, and I freaking did it, man. You know, and that's all it takes. Like, sometimes you just got to do one thing, and then you're like, wow, that wasn't so hard, it wasn't so bad, and then you just keep doing more and more and more. That's the way it was with videos for me. I just did one video, and I was like, wow, I can do more, right? So now I'm gonna do more and more books, right? And that's very much a Leo thing. That's a creative thing, obviously. Right now, Moon is trine my natal Pluto, and that's going to be quite good for astrological understanding, penetrating insights, 8th house matters. What else? So then you want to look at other things, like the nodes are going to move backwards, right? Because they change, they move in a different direction, right? So South Node is moving away from Jupiter. So you know, all the Jupiterian things from the past, which have to do with abundance and excess and relationships, that's all just drifting apart. Also, Jupiter's philosophy, so the philosophy I grew up with, that's all falling apart or changing, really. Jupiter's conjunct Mercury, which relates to speaking and sharing knowledge and hesitate to say wisdom. I don't know how wise I am, but at least talking about things and sharing what I know to be true, that seems to be quite prominent with me, with others. Like this is a very much Jupiter Mercury type thing. Jupiter Mercury tends to be very expressive, very big, lots of words, big words, all the big words. Yeah. And Taurus obviously is very blunt but sensual as well, right? It's moving towards Chiron, and Chiron South Node shows a tremendous sort of ease with Chironic things, you could say. I mean, it would be like the outcasts, the rejects, the homeless, I'm very at home in the city, and none of it really bothers me. I mean, I do like I do dislike the smell of like warm piss on a hot summer, like when there's like things smell like crap and whatnot. But generally, I'm quite okay with the down and out side of life, not that I partake in it. I don't want to be one of them, but I'm okay with it, and that's very much a South Node Chiron type thing. On the other hand, North Node is moving closer to my natal Uranus, so I am becoming much more Uranian, especially in Uranian scorpionic type theme, as far as it's also conjunct my ascendant, so that's all becoming more and more kind of intense and obsessive. Although right now there's with the transit solar return, South Node is basically right here, so there's a bit of a detour, you could say, towards Taurian things, a revisitation, because North Node's in Taurus. But in general, the obsession with I don't know, like scorpionic things and themes, astrology, that sort of thing is very definitely grabs my attention a lot. So you can see that here, and that's going to only grow and increase. Obviously, ascendant, you want to look at the ascendant, because that moves pretty quickly. My ascendant is basically conjunct Neptune and Sag, and yeah, I mean, I do feel pretty adventurous, I mean, I'm a Gemini. Gemini Sag have a natural sort of oppositional similarity, I guess you could say, similar but different in opposite ways. Sagittarius is very philosophical, adventurous, yeah. But what you want to do is you want to look back. I'm just going to go back in time for a bit to show you that, to show you when it changed, the date, and I'll talk about that just in a second. And okay, so this is 2012. 2012 was a very pivotal year for me. That's when I left the mother of my son. I moved out, and very traumatic time. And obviously ascendant is at 29 degrees Scorpio. And then I had like a huge spiritual awakening at that time. I moved into 0 degrees Sagittarius, right? 2013, I started a new life. I packed up and moved to, it's funny, Sagittarius. I packed up and moved to Fairfield, Iowa for a little while. God knows why, I don't know. I just needed to get away. And then I knew some people there, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going here. This is pretty Sagittarian of me, especially Neptune and Sag. And then I came back because I missed my son. They obviously weren't coming with me, so I was like, what the hell am I doing here? So I came back, but it was a big adventure. And so, like, you want to look at the times where your ascendant or moon or sun, all these things are changing signs. Obviously, I had a lot of planets in Cancer at that time, so I was very much more emotional, right? I don't feel nearly as emotional these days. I feel very creative, right? And if we look, now it's like boom, Leo, right? Gemini. Mars, my ascendant lord's in Virgo. We could look, I don't even remember when that changed, but you could look to that, your ascendant lord's to see what happened exactly when a planet moves into a new sign. So that was September 7th, 2007. I don't actually remember what happened during that time, but I would guess that I became much more physically active when my Mars moved into Virgo, because Virgo is all about, it's no nonsense. It likes to get down to, business and work hard and just like, just show up and, do the work and, serve and, be a good person, be healthy, be strong, no ego about it. Leo is much more indulgent. Leo will work, but it's usually like at the gym, lifting weights for vanity, stuff like that. Or being very creative. Leo's very creative. So I think I gained much more health motivations at this time, probably. I know I have it, I know it, but I can't remember pinpoint exactly. It's probably around this time that happened, right? So that's what you want to look for, and then obviously you want to look for aspects and whatnot, right? The outer planets are not going to move much. My Neptune became even more enshrined with my natal Mars. That gives me like a creative, spiritual bent. I do tend to have that a lot. Very into spirituality. I mean, there's a lot of things, 8th house, Scorpio, but Neptune also, imagination, creativity. I'm visionary. I have very vivid imagination, things like that. Yeah, what else? I mean, Sun is now square Chiron, Saturn, Sun is conjunct Saturn. That's bonifying Saturn. Sun and Saturn is not great, but it is hardworking, right? And Saturn in Leo alone is worse than Saturn in Leo with Sun there, so it's better to have Sun there because it's bonifying, because Sun rules Leo. But then there's the square to Chiron. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I guess I'm so used to it, but it's something having to do with being a misfit, being an outcast, having a hard time around that, having to do like relating to my family because Saturn's ruling the 3rd and 4th, right? I can get into it, but I don't want to. I mean, there's going to be some tension there, but it's okay, right? Sun is semi-square my natal sun, so that also is a challenging aspect, making me work hard, but that's fine. It's in Leo. It's good, right? It's good for the next 30 years. Like I'm like, wah! Because Sun's in Leo, so I'm getting that really strong Sun energy, which I haven't had because Sun in the 8th house, Sun in Cancer, now Sun in Leo in the 10th house. Like, oh, thank God, right? 9th quadrant, but 10th whole sign house. And then as it progresses, it'll get closer to the MC. That's where I can really develop my career, which is something that I've always wanted, because Sun, Ascendant Lord Mars conjunct the MC, but Saturn not in good dignity, holding me back through my home, my parents, family upbringing, and my neighborhood, friends, like casual type things. All these things hold me back, right? Now I have a breakthrough. In any case, guys, look at your progressions and go back in time, go forward in time, see when planets are going to change sign to either gain dignity or lose dignity or develop a bad aspect or a good aspect, right? I got Uranus square Saturn, both natal and progress. So that's normal. I'm always very rebellious, now it's square the sun, so that also should be careful of accidents. Yeah. In any case, stuff like that. Ascendant, when the ascendant changes sign or ascendant comes closer to another planet, moon changes sign, sun changes sign, all these things are going to be quite significant. And then look at the nodes. What's the new node moving closer to? If anything, what's the south node moving farther away from or closer to? Right? Yeah, like that. So, yep. With the nodal placements, obviously, if it's moving closer, that's a growing relationship. If it's moving away, that's a dissipating relationship. The same with all the other planets, right? So I'm super happy with this Leo stellium going on, conjuncting my MC, really super powering my career and creativity. So I'm gonna write tons of books now and really develop my career. So anyway, that is secondary progressions. Check it out for yourself. I think you can do it on astro.com. That's what I used for years before I bought this software. So you don't have to buy expensive software. You can do it all for free online. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye. Don't forget to hit like and oh yeah, visit my website, joewaxman.com. Buy something. Book a reading with me. All right, bye.